The coffee splashed across Lily O'Connor's crisp white blouse like a Jackson Pollock, painting gone terribly wrong, spreading in slow motion as her interview suit, the one she had spent half her month's savings on, absorbed the scorching liquid. A collective gasp echoed through the bustling lobby of Bellingham Enterprises, all eyes turning to witness her misfortune and the tall man who had caused it. "I am so sorry," said the man, genuine horror in his eyes as he reached for his pocket square. "I wasn't looking where I was going." Lily bit back tears, more from the burning sensation on her skin than embarrassment. "It's fine," she lied, dabbing uselessly at the spreading stain. "It wasn't fine." Her interview with Bellingham Enterprises' marketing department started in 15 minutes, and she looked like she'd been in a coffee war. "No, it's not," the man insisted, his brow furrowed with concern. "Let me make this right, please." Before she could protest, he was guiding her toward the elevator, pressing the button for the top floor with a security card she hadn't noticed in his hand. Lily glanced at her watch nervously. "My interview is in, don't worry about that," he said, offering a reassuring smile that somehow calmed her despite everything. "What position are you interviewing for?" "Marketing specialist," Lily replied, still dabbing at her blouse. "With Marcus Thompson." The man's eyebrows rose slightly. "Interesting." The elevator doors opened to a floor Lily hadn't expected to see, certainly not today, and definitely not looking like a coffee casualty. The executive floor was all sleek glass and polished wood, with views of the city that made her momentarily forget her predicament. "This way," the man directed, leading her down a corridor to what appeared to be a private suite. He knocked once before opening the door. "Angela, we need your help." A stylish woman in her 50s looked up from her desk, assessing the situation instantly. "Oh dear, coffee casualty." "My fault entirely," the man admitted. "The candidate for the marketing position," Angela said, looking at Lily with recognition. "Miss O'Connor, right?" Lily nodded, confused. "How did you come with me?" Angela interrupted, already heading toward another door. "We keep emergency clothing in various sizes. Hazard of working with this one," she added, jerking her thumb toward the man who had spilled the coffee. As Angela helped her find a replacement blouse, a silk one that probably cost more than Lily's entire outfit, the woman explained, "He's always in such a rush. This isn't the first coffee incident, though usually it's just on important documents, not people." Lily changed quickly, grateful but puzzled by the treatment. When she emerged, the man was waiting, his face apologetic but with a curious gleam in his eye. "Much better," he said. "Now, about your interview, which I'm going to be late for," Lily interrupted, checking her watch again. "Actually," he said, extending his hand, "I'm William Bellingham, and I believe we can postpone your interview with Marcus, considering I'm his boss." Lily's stomach dropped. William Bellingham. The William Bellingham. 35-year-old tech genius turned business mogul. The man who had built Bellingham Enterprises from a startup in his garage to a multi-billion-dollar company. The man whose coffee was currently seeping into her second-best pumps. "Mr. Bellingham, I will, please," he insisted, still holding out his hand. "And since I've ruined your suit and possibly scalded you, I think the least I can do is conduct the interview myself." Over the next hour, Lily found herself in William Bellingham's private office, discussing marketing strategies and digital campaigns while trying to ignore the fact that she was wearing his company's emergency blouse, and that he was much more handsome in person than in the Forbes profile she'd studied. By the end of their impromptu interview, Lily had almost forgotten the disastrous beginning. Almost. "Well, Miss O'Connor, Lily, please," she said, mirroring his earlier insistence. He smiled. "Lily, I think you would be an excellent addition to our team. Your portfolio is impressive, your ideas are fresh, and you managed to stay composed after I assaulted you with caffeine. That's the kind of resilience we need." "Are you offering me the job?" Lily asked, hardly daring to believe it. "I am," Will confirmed. "Though perhaps we should discuss the details over dinner. I still feel terrible about your suit." "Dinner isn't necessary," Lily said quickly, professional instincts kicking in. And the job offer is more than enough compensation. Will's expression flickered with something she couldn't read. Of course, I apologize if that was inappropriate. No, Lily stumbled over her words. I don't want special treatment. It's not special treatment, Will assured her. It's a job offer based on your qualifications. And the dinner invitation is simply my way of apologizing as one human to another, not as CEO to employee. Lily considered this. I'd like some time to think about the job offer if that's all right. Take all the time you need, Will said, standing to shake her hand again. And my dinner invitation stands, regardless of your decision about the job. As Lily left Bellingham Enterprises that day, her ruined suit in a shopping bag and wearing borrowed clothes, she knew one thing for certain. This was not how she had expected her interview to go. 3 days later, after careful consideration and background research on Bellingham Enterprises' corporate culture and growth potential, Lily accepted the job offer. She started the following Monday, determined to prove her worth based on merit alone, not because the CEO had felt guilty about a coffee incident. Her desk was in the marketing department on the 18th floor, far from the executive suites. This was a relief to Lily, who had worried about potential office gossip. As far as her new colleagues knew, she was just another new hire, not someone who had been personally interviewed by William Bellingham himself. For 2 weeks, Lily worked diligently, impressing her immediate supervisor with her creative campaigns and attention to detail. She had almost convinced herself that the coffee incident was behind her when a meeting invitation appeared in her calendar. Project Review W. Bellingham's office. Don't look so nervous, said her colleague Zoe, noticing Lily's expression. Will drops in on different departments all the time. He likes to be hands-on. Will, Lily repeated, surprised by the casual reference. Zoe nodded. That's what everyone calls him. He hates formality. You'll see he's nothing like other CEOs. The next morning, Lily found herself back in the elevator heading to the top floor, her portfolio clutched tightly in her hands. This time, she wore a navy suit that hadn't been baptized in coffee, and her confidence was bolstered by 2 weeks of solid work. Angela greeted her with a knowing smile. He's waiting for you, and don't worry, I've hidden all beverages. Will rose from his desk when Lily entered, that same warm smile lighting up his face. Miss O'Connor, Lily, good to see you again. How are you settling in? Very well, thank you, Lily replied professionally. Everyone has been extremely helpful. I'm glad to hear it, Will said, gesturing for her to sit. I've been reviewing your work on the Next Gen campaign. It's impressive. For the next 30 minutes, they discussed her marketing strategies in detail. Will was attentive, asking insightful questions and offering suggestions that showed he'd thoroughly reviewed her work. It was clear he wasn't just playing at being involved, he genuinely understood every aspect of his business. As their meeting concluded, Will walked her to the door. By the way, I never did make up for ruining your interview suit. That dinner invitation still stands. Lily hesitated. Mr. Bellingham, Will, he corrected gently. Will, she amended. I appreciate the offer, but I don't think it would be appropriate. Because I'm your boss, he asked directly. Essentially, yes, Lily admitted. I want to succeed here based on my work, not because of anything else. Will considered her words, then nodded. I respect that, but what if I told you I'm interested in getting to know you better, not as your boss, but as a person who finds you intriguing? The coffee incident was unfortunate, but it did introduce me to someone I might not have met otherwise. Lily felt her carefully constructed professional walls wavering. There was something genuinely earnest about William Bellingham that didn't fit the millionaire CEO stereotype. How about a compromise? She suggested. The company charity gala is next week. Public setting, professional context, but an opportunity to talk outside the office. Will's face brightened. I like how you think, Miss O'Connor. It's a date, professionally speaking, of course. The annual Bellingham Enterprises charity gala was held at the Grand Meridian Hotel, transformed for the evening into a winter wonderland. Lily arrived in a midnight blue gown she had splurged on despite her budget constraints, telling herself it was an investment in her career. She mingled with colleagues, many expressing surprise that someone so new had been invited to the exclusive event. Lily explained it away as luck of the draw, not mentioning her conversation with Will. "You look stunning," came his voice from behind her, causing her to turn. Will stood in a perfectly tailored tuxedo, looking every bit the successful CEO, yet there was that same unpretentious warmth in his eyes that had struck her from the beginning. "Thank you," Lily replied. "This is quite an event. The decorations are beautiful." "My sister handles all that," Will explained, guiding her toward a quieter corner. "Lisa has a flair for design I never inherited. I'm more numbers and strategy." "And coffee distribution," Lily added with a small smile. Will laughed, a genuine sound that made several heads turn in surprise. "I deserved that, though I promise I've been working on my coordination." They spoke easily throughout the evening, finding common ground in their love of old movies, hiking, and surprisingly, vintage video games. Will introduced her to various executives and partners without ever making her feel like she was being shown off or tested. He was, Lily realized, genuinely proud to have her at his company. "May I ask you something?" Lily said as they stood on the balcony, the city lights twinkling below them. "Anything," Will replied. "Why did you hire me, really? Was it just guilt over the coffee?" Will considered her question seriously. "The coffee got you into my office, yes, but your qualifications got you the job. I reviewed your portfolio that morning while you were changing your blouse. I'd already decided to offer you the position before our conversation even began. So the interview was a formality," Will admitted, "though it confirmed what I already suspected, that you were exactly what Bellingham Enterprises needed." Lily absorbed this information, feeling both validated and somehow disappointed. "I see." Will seemed to sense her conflicted feelings. The coffee incident was fortunate in one way, though. "How so?" "It introduced me to Lily O'Connor, the person," he said simply. "Not just the marketing specialist." The gala marked a turning point. Over the next few months, Lily established herself as a rising star in the marketing department, her campaigns consistently outperforming projections. She was promoted to team leader after just 6 months, an unprecedented rise that led to whispers about favoritism that she worked twice as hard to disprove. Will, for his part, maintained a respectful professional distance, their interactions limited to necessary meetings and company events. Yet each time they spoke, there was an undercurrent of connection that neither could deny. It was at the company's summer picnic, a casual affair in a local park where employees brought their families, that things shifted again. Lily was helping organize the children's games when she spotted Will, dressed down in jeans and a simple button-up shirt, playing impromptu soccer with a group of employees' kids. "He's good with them," remarked Angela, appearing beside Lily. "Always has been." "I wouldn't have expected it," Lily admitted, watching as Will dramatically fell to the ground after a tiny girl barely tapped the ball away from him, causing peals of laughter. "There's a lot about Will most people don't expect," Angela said thoughtfully. "Did you know he still visits his old neighborhood every month, mentors kids, funds scholarships quietly?" "No," Lily said softly. "He doesn't talk about that." "He wouldn't," Angela replied. "Just like he wouldn't tell you he's rejected acquisition offers worth billions because he wouldn't lay off employees, or that he personally covered medical expenses for a janitor's child last year." Lily watched Will, seeing him in a new light. Not as the millionaire CEO or even as the man who had spilled coffee on her, but as someone with depth she was only beginning to understand. Later, as the picnic wound down, Will found her sitting alone at a table watching the sunset. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, 2 ice cream cones in hand. "I come bearing peace offerings," Lily smiled. "As long as it's not coffee," Will laughed, handing her a cone. "Strictly frozen dairy products." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment before Will spoke again. "I've been meaning to ask you something." "What's that?" "Would you have dinner with me?" Not as a CEO apologizing to an employee, but as Will asking Lily. Lily considered the complications, the potential gossip, the professional implications. Then she looked at the man beside her, not the millionaire businessman, but the person who played soccer with children and secretly funded scholarships. "I'd like that," she said simply. Their first official date was at a small Italian restaurant far from the corporate headquarters. Will arrived early, visibly nervous in a way Lily had never seen during business meetings. He had reserved a private corner table, but the restaurant itself was unpretentious checkered tablecloths and candles in wine bottles. "No five-star restaurant," Lily teased as they sat down. "I thought about it," Will admitted. "But this place has the best lasagna in the city, and somehow I thought you'd appreciate authenticity over ostentation." He was right, and the realization that he understood this about her was more flattering than any expensive venue could have been. Over plates of pasta and glasses of wine, they talked about everything except work. Will told her about growing up with a single mother who worked 3 jobs to support him and his sister, about building his first computer from scrapped parts, about the teacher who had believed in him enough to help him apply for scholarships. Lily shared stories of her childhood in a small town, her parents' bookstore that had sparked her love of storytelling, her brief stint as a terrible waitress before finding her way to marketing. "Can I tell you something I've never told anyone at the company?" Will asked as they shared a tiramisu. "Of course," Lily replied, intrigued. "I almost sold Bellingham Enterprises last year," he confessed. "I was tired. Building something from nothing takes everything from you, and somewhere along the way I lost track of why I was doing it." "What changed your mind?" Lily asked softly. Will's eyes met hers. "I realized I'd built this thing that supported thousands of people and their families. That responsibility, it matters. But I also realized I needed to find joy in it again to remember why I started." "Have you found the joy again?" Will reached across the table, his fingers lightly touching hers. "I'm working on it. Some days are better than others." That first date led to a second, then a third. They were careful at work, professional, appropriate, their interactions no different from Will's with other employees. But evenings and weekends became their time to discover each other beyond titles and positions. 3 months into their private relationship, the challenges began. A photo of them having dinner appeared on a gossip site, the headline speculating about the Millionaire CEO and his office romance. The next day, whispers followed Lily through the hallways, and an email from Human Resources appeared in her inbox. "I'm so sorry about this," Will said when he called her that evening, his voice strained. "I should have been more careful." "We both should have," Lily replied, staring at the HR email requesting a meeting. "I knew this could happen. I'll fix it," Will promised. "I can talk to HR, explain." "No," Lily interrupted firmly. "That's exactly what I don't want. I need to handle this myself, Will. If you step in, it only confirms what everyone will think, that I'm sleeping with the boss for advantages." There was a long silence before Will spoke again. "What do you want to do?" Lily took a deep breath. I think I need to leave Bellingham Enterprises." "Lily, no, listen to me, Will. I love my job, I'm good at it, but my career needs to stand on its own merit, not under the shadow of our relationship. I need to prove myself somewhere else, where your name isn't on the building." The HR meeting the next day was uncomfortable but professional. The company had a clear policy about disclosing relationships to prevent conflicts of interest. Lily was frank about her relationship with Will, explaining it had developed after her hiring and promotion, and that she understood the concerns. To her surprise, the HR director seemed more concerned about protecting Lily than disciplining her. "Mr. Bellingham has already recused himself from any decisions regarding your career path," the director explained. "But we understand this puts you in a difficult position regardless." By the end of the week, Lily had made her decision. She would finish her current projects and then resign, giving ample notice to find and train her replacement. Will respected her choice, though his disappointment was evident. "I've been thinking," he said one evening as they walked through the park, their hands linked despite the risk of being seen. "About solutions. Will, not to keep you at the company," he clarified quickly. "I understand why you need to leave, but about us, about making this work long-term." Lily stopped walking, looking up at him. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that meeting you spilling coffee on you was the best accident of my life," Will said, his voice unusually vulnerable. "And I don't want to lose you because of my position or my company." "You're not losing me," Lily assured him. "I'm just changing jobs, not disappearing." Will took both her hands in his. "I know, but it's made me realize something. The company isn't who I am, it's what I built, not who I am, and who I am is a man who's falling in love with you, Lily O'Connor." The words hung between them, honest and unadorned. Lily felt tears spring to her eyes. "Will, you don't have to say anything back," he said quickly. "I just needed you to know, whatever comes next, however we navigate this, that's the truth at the center of it." Lily reached up, touching his face gently. "I'm falling in love with you too. That's why I have to do this, to make sure what we're building together stands on solid ground." 3 weeks later, Lily started a new position at a smaller marketing firm across town. The work was challenging, the team talented, and her boss appreciated her ideas without any knowledge of her personal life. Will supported her transition completely, even when it meant they had less time together due to their busy schedules. He never visited her at work, understanding her need for professional separation. But he made their time outside work count, cooking dinner at his rarely used apartment, hiking on weekends, attending obscure film festivals where no one recognized him. 6 months into her new job, Lily received an unexpected opportunity. Her firm had been selected to pitch for a major international client, and she was chosen to lead the presentation. The day before her presentation, a delivery arrived at her office. A sleek leather portfolio with her initials embossed in gold, and inside a simple note. "You've got this. No coffee anywhere near the presentation room, I promise." The pitch was successful, securing the biggest client in her firm's history. That night, Will took her to dinner to celebrate, his pride in her accomplishment evident in every word. "I have something to tell you," he said as they finished their meal. "Something I've been working on." "What is it?" Lily asked, curious about his secretive smile. "I'm stepping back from day-to-day operations at Bellingham Enterprises," Will announced. "Promoting my COO to handle the operational side while I focus on strategy and new ventures." Lily stared at him, surprised. "Will, that's a huge change. Are you sure?" "More sure than I've been about anything in a long time," he said confidently. "The company needs fresh leadership, and I need more balance, more time for the things that matter." "Like what?" Lily asked, though she thought she knew the answer. Will reached across the table, taking her hand. "Like figuring out if the woman I love might consider moving in with me, like seeing if we can build something together that has nothing to do with marketing campaigns or profit margins." That night, Lily said yes to moving in together. 3 months later, they bought a house, not an ostentatious mansion, but a warm, welcoming home with a garden Lily could tend and an office where Will could work on the charitable foundation he was establishing. 1 year to the day after the coffee incident, Will took Lily back to the Bellingham Enterprises lobby. "Why are we here?" she asked, puzzled as they stood in the spot where they'd first met. Will smiled that warm smile that still made her heart skip. "I thought we should commemorate the anniversary of the best mistake I ever made." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Lily's breath caught as he dropped to one knee, right where a puddle of coffee had once spread across the marble floor. "Lily O'Connor," Will said, his voice steady despite the crowd of employees gathering to witness the moment. "I spilled coffee on you and offered you a job. Now I'm asking if you'll accept something else from me, my heart, my future, my promise to love you every day for the rest of our lives." Tears blurred Lily's vision as he opened the box to reveal a beautiful but modest diamond ring. "Will you marry me?" "Yes," Lily whispered, then louder, "Yes." As Will slipped the ring onto her finger and the lobby erupted in applause, Lily had a sudden thought that made her laugh through her tears. "What's so funny?" Will asked, standing to kiss her. "I just realized," Lily said, wrapping her arms around his neck, "I never did get reimbursed for that ruined interview suit." Will laughed, holding her close. "How about a lifetime of happiness as compensation?" "That seems fair," Lily agreed, kissing him again as employees snapped photos and cheered. 2 years later, William and Lily Bellingham welcomed their daughter, Emma, into the world. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and yes, occasionally spilled coffee. Will had successfully transitioned to his strategic role at Bellingham Enterprises, while Lily had started her own boutique marketing firm specializing in campaigns for nonprofit organizations. On Emma's first birthday, as they watched their daughter smear cake across her high chair, Will wrapped his arm around Lily's waist. "Do you ever think about how differently things might have turned out if I'd been watching where I was going that day?" Lily leaned her head against his shoulder. "You mean if you hadn't assaulted me with a venti dark roast?" "Exactly," Will chuckled. "I might have interviewed dozens of marketing specialists and never found you. Or I might have been so nervous in a formal interview that I wouldn't have made an impression," Lily mused. Will kissed her temple gently. "I doubt that. You're pretty unforgettable, Mrs. Bellingham." Lily smiled, watching their daughter giggle as she discovered the joy of squishing birthday cake between her fingers. "I think we ended up exactly where we were supposed to be." "With coffee stains and all," Will agreed, his eyes reflecting the same love that had grown from that first chaotic meeting, a love built on respect, honesty, and the understanding that sometimes life's biggest messes lead to its greatest joys. And as their friends and family sang "Happy Birthday" to little Emma, Lily knew with absolute certainty that sometimes the wrong first impression leads to the most perfect last chapter, one written not in coffee stains, but in the indelible ink of a love story neither of them had expected to find.